Vaishali ma'am, please start. Vaishali madam,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, please start.
A very pleasant and delightful afternoon to one and all who have converged virtually on the fourth day of the National Online Certificate course in Shakespearean Studies organized by the Shakespeare Society of Central India in collaboration with the Departments of English of Dr. S.C. GULHANE PRERNA College of Commerce and Science Nagpur, SANTAJI Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, HISLOP College Nagpur, J.M. Patel Arts, Commerce and Science College Bhandara, and Dr. MADHUKARRAO WASNIK, P.W.S, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Nagpur. I, Dr. Vaishali Meshram, Assistant Professor of English at Dr. M.K. Umathe College, Nagpur, feel honored to be a host for today's proceedings. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt greetings to today's erudite, multifaceted, and an academician extraordinaire resource person, Honorable Dr. Captain Indrani M.R. I extend my respectful welcome to the strong pillars of the Shakespeare Society of Central India. Their constant guidance, commitment, and support have been instrumental in the success of this national online certificate course. With great honor, I welcome Honorable Dr. Tapti, President, Shakespeare Society of Central India, and Honorable Dr. Usha Sakure, Secretary, Shakespeare Society of Central India. Madam, we are truly grateful for your presence, encouragement, and academic leadership. I also warmly welcome the boisterous and dynamic organizers of this national online certificate course, whose dedication and academic commitment have ensured the smooth conduct of every session. A heartfelt welcome to Honorable Dr. Urmila Dabir, Honorable Dr. Priya Vanzari, Honorable Dr. Prashant Sherke, Honorable Dr. Pradeep Meshra, and Honorable Dr. Pradnya Bagre. I extend my sincere and affable welcome to all the sagacious course coordinators, Mrs. Nehal Rakhunde, Dr. Nihal Sheikh, Dr. Malti Panga, Dr. Kartik Panikar, and Dr. Sudesh Bhote. I also wish to extend my heartfelt greetings to all the learned participants, faculty members, and scholars who have joined us today on this virtual platform for this course. On behalf of the organizers, I once again extend a warm and cheerful welcome to each one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a notable, sagacious, and an ardent scholar, Honorable Dr. Pratik Michael, in our midst today. Dr. Pratik Michael is the Vice Principal and Head of the Department of Chemistry at HISLOP College, Nagpur, and IIFEF Fellow and Indo-French Alumni Fellow. He holds a PhD from RTM Nagpur University. With 23 years of teaching and research experience, Dr. Michael has worked extensively in France on polymer chemistry and biological control projects. He has 18 research publications, has presented papers at 24 national and international conferences, and has authored 4 books. He is a recipient of prestigious fellowships, including the French Embassy's PhD Sandwich Scholarship. He also serves as a reviewer for reputed international journals and is actively associated with several professional bodies. He served as an invited speaker, resource person, and panelist at several national and international platforms. We are happy to have you here with us, sir. I now request Honorable Dr. Pratik Michael, sir, to address the participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam, for the introduction. I'm really humbled by the introduction that you have made for me. Thank you so much. Dignitaries, organizing partners, and dear participants of the National Online Certificate course in Shakespearean Studies, a very warm good morning to one and all present here. Let me at the outset extend greetings to each one of you on behalf of the HISLOP Education Society, the college management, our dear principal, Dr. Prashant Sherke, sir, and on my personal behalf. It is a matter of great pride and joy for me to see HISLOP as an active collaborator for this national level certificate program. Being part of the initiative brings together such rich academic energy, which is truly gratifying. I would take this opportunity to congratulate the President of the Shakespeare Society of Central India, Dr. Tapti, and to the Secretary of the Shakespeare Society of Central India, Dr. Usha Sukare, for taking this wonderful and excellent initiative. Madams, your vision and commitment have brought together scholars, teachers, and students across the country, and we are so delighted to join hands in this academic endeavor. May I take the moment to acknowledge the principals of educating colleges, Dr. Urmila Nabir, Priya Vanjari, Dr. Pradeep Meshram, and Dr. Pradna Vagre. I would also like to make a special mention to all the respected resource persons. Thank you very much, sirs and madam, for sharing your expertise. I would like to extend a special thanks to today's speaker, Dr. Captain Indrani. Thank you, madam, for your time, and I hope your expertise is going to be beneficial to all the participants. In partnership, when institutions come together in platforms like this, it introduces fresh viewpoints, pushes boundaries, and expands one's horizon thoughts. This is a perfect example of collective efforts that we can achieve together. Now, Shakespeare plays offers timeless insights into human society and to the complexities of relationships. Even more than 40 centuries, Shakespeare continues to influence us in classrooms, on and in our daily reflections. His works remain relevant, his characters challenging us, and his insights continue to guide. I wish participants from across the country that they engage deeply with his works through this course. To the organizers, every success, and to the participants, a stimulating and an enriching experience. Thank you very much, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the words of wisdom with us and motivating our participants. Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shakespeare Society of Central India was established with the noble motto of promoting a deeper understanding, appreciation, and academic engagement with the works of William Shakespeare. Since its inception, the Society has been dedicated to fostering literary awareness, encouraging research, and creating platforms where students, scholars, and teachers can come together to explore the timeless relevance of Shakespeare's writings. In this national level online certificate course, the distinguished resource persons have brilliantly dealt with a wide range of topics related to Shakespearean studies so far. Yesterday, on day 3, Honorable Dr. Shripad Bhatt, an adjunct professor from Manipal University, Manipal, enlightened us on the crucial topic, the patriarchal bard, feminist response to Shakespeare. During his talk, he thoughtfully explored how Shakespeare's works have been interpreted through feminist lenses, highlighted the representation of women in his plays, and throughout the session, he discussed how contemporary feminist scholars critique the patriarchal structures embedded in Shakespearean drama. His session started with a discussion on the Elizabethan age and key ideas in feminist responses to Shakespeare. He highlighted the work of Margaret Fuller and Anna Jameson regarding women's engagement with Shakespeare's work. He asserted that Shakespeare wrote in a strongly patriarchal society, which is reflected in the themes of marriage, gender relations, power, and the limited agency of female characters. Using examples such as Prospero's control over Miranda in The Tempest, he showed how patriarchal authority shapes Shakespeare's plays. He also highlighted Kate Millet's sexual politics, which argues that Shakespeare's work often reinforced male domination, portraying women in the passive roles. Dr. Bhatt concluded by emphasizing how feminist criticism reads Shakespeare not just as aesthetic creations but as a social document, making his works socially and critically relevant today. His session offered new perspectives and sparked meaningful academic reflection among the participants. Ladies and gentlemen, Shakespeare's universe is incomplete without the mysterious, the magical, and the outwardly. Be it the witches of Macbeth, the ghost of Hamlet and Julius Caesar, or the enchanting spirits of the Tempest, the supernatural plays a pivotal role in heightening drama and revealing the psychological depth of his characters. Today's eminent resource person will help us unravel these layers of meaning and understood how Shakespeare masterfully blends the real and the unreal. Today we are honored to have with us a highly accomplished academician, a dynamic personality, and an inspiring educator, Honorable Dr. Captain Indrani M.R. I take this wonderful opportunity to introduce today's distinguished resource person to you all. Dr. Captain Indrani M.R. is an Associate Professor of English and NCC officer, presently working as a soft skill trainer in Abu Dhabi, UAE, a writer and a poetess. She also serves as Nodal Officer for Community College and UGC sponsored programs. With MA, BEd and PhD degrees, she has 18 years of teaching experience, specializing in travel literature, literary theories, English language and soft skills. Her dynamic approach to teaching has touched the lives of countless learners. Dr. Indrani has published 6 international research articles, presented 26 papers, participated in over 150 conferences and 26 workshops, delivered 389, I repeat, 389 lectures. Can you believe? 389 lectures, and conducted numerous certificate courses, workshops, student exchange programs, and international peace conferences. Dr. Indrani is the recipient of several prestigious national awards, including including Shiksha Ratna, Rashtriya Shiksha Ratna Samman, Guru Dronacharya Educator of the Year, Rashtriya Shiksha Ratna Samman, Women Excellence Award, Dr. Kalam Educator Excellence Award, Vijayani Award, Guru Shiromani Award, and many more. Global Femina Excellence, Merit of Excellence Award, Best Professor Indian Icon Award, and the NCC Deputy Director General Commendation Award. I feel proud to mention here that she is notably the only woman officer from Mysuru NCC group to receive this recognition. This is really commendable. Congratulations, ma'am. She is also a poet with published works and the upcoming anthology, When the Silence Speaks. Dr. Indrani serves as multiple boards of examination, is a question paper setter and evaluator, and is an active member of ISPEL India and the Mysore Literary Association. Her scholarly understanding of Shakespeare and her creative insight into literature make her the perfect speaker for today's session. Ma'am, we are truly privileged to have you with us today. We eagerly look forward to your insights and interpretations on the supernatural elements that shape Shakespeare's plays. Now it's my honor to invite Dr. Captain Indrani Madam to enlighten us with her talk on the supernatural in Shakespearean plays. Ma'am, the virtual stage is all yours. Ma'am, please unmute yourself. Yes.
Ma'am, thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. And as an academician, I feel very, very happy and proud to be amidst the elite group of Shakespearean committee, which is working for making the students to understand the importance of studying Shakespeare even at this particular age. I thank Dr. Usha ma'am for making me a part of this course and also giving me an opportunity, and even to the institution. So let me just start with one such important aspect where why actually we are here today. Today is the fourth day of this certificate course, and the students and the participants who are here in this particular platform have known much more about William Shakespeare. And I know it is always coming back to this particular institution is my great honor and pleasure, actually. Only thing is that the connected arts which are here, why we respect is the emotional bondage which we continue. And Shakespeare is one such particular person who has given this platform, to even today, after 400 years of literary world, we even today remember him. To open up my talk today, let me just quote, there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt often in philosophy. With this thought, let us explore today's topic, supernatural elements in Shakespearean play. I actually admire Shakespeare's writing only because he is one who has focused on life and all those positivity and negativity which every individual possesses in us. I actually deem it a great pleasure to speak about William Shakespeare as the Bard of Avon, who has already focused on so many writings. It's almost 30 plays which actually focus on life and its importance. The topic which I am dealing today is, ma'am, if you could, I'll just share my PPT. I extend my warm welcome to the management members, to the committee members, and the students, and all those invitees who are there on this platform. I just take a second here to, present my PPT. I hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am. You are
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is the screen displayed?
No, ma'am. Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, is the screen displayed now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes.
You can start a slideshow as well.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Now it is seen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. Before starting this, I would like to tell you all what is actually the meaning of the supernatural elements. Supernatural elements are events, beings, or powers that go beyond natural laws and cannot be explained by science or everyday human experiences. The students and the teachers who are here will actually know how important it is to know about what is existence, the good and the evil. So supernatural elements are those events where even science also cannot explain. It is only on our human experience we do feel it. They usually involve mysterious, magical, or worldly forces. To quote few things, examples of supernatural elements, I would like to speak on the ghosts, the spirits of the dead, witches and the magical spells, prophecies that predict the future, fairies and the magical creatures, curses and the omens, and the dreams that come true. When we speak about this, why is it that today, even today, Shakespeare is known because of these connectivity, what he speaks about it, where even today people have those aspects in life which speaks about these things. When we think of Shakespeare, we usually think of the kings and the queens and the tragic heroes, powerful speeches and the strong emotions. But there is another fascinating dimension in his place, the world of the spiritual, supernatural. Shakespeare often uses these aspects to make people to understand how important the life is. The world of the supernatural, where includes the ghosts, the witches, the professors, and the omens, which I have already put it across, and the dreams that come true. My dear students, you can just think of what are those dreams we dream actually. Okay, those fascinating, the illusions, that which keeps our mind and the heart glowing, happy always, the dreams which come true. And how does William Shakespeare uses this dream coming true is what we understand in this particular topic today. Uh, the action which we speak about it is this. Yeah, I hope I'm seen here. Yes. The functions of supernatural power. The functions of the supernatural power elements in William Shakespeare plays influence the characters and they create the mystery and the suspense, symbolizes deeper themes like human guilt, fate, ambition, or justice. It creates fear and mystery and the dynamic atmosphere. My dear listeners over here, you should know how every aspect of life characters influence our character. It is the society which influences. It is those people who are around us who influence us, who actually chisel us to the right individual. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, he sees that accept the challenges, the battles which comes on your way and face and think in the present what has to be executed. The duty of an every individual is that we as an individual, God has given us all those qualities. We know how to judge. We know how to get going along with us and we know how to balance our life. Those are the men or the human beings who are facing these turmoils in our mind. Okay, it is nothing but those the mystery and the suspense of life, which William Shakespeare, though it is ages together, even today we study about William Shakespeare, which symbolizes the human guilt. My dear listeners here, you know, when we consciously do certain things, it starts pricking us. The characters, what William Shakespeare has used is this in those years where he speaks about the guilt of a human being, the fate. We always say, I, being a soft skill trainer, I always say that there is nothing which is called as fate. The fate and destiny is made and created by us, we individual. It is in our hand how to destine ourselves. And that is what his plays, William Shakespeare's plays, speak about this. And it is the superpower. Let me put it again. It is a superpower that we individuals have within us. And these superpowers have been depicted in a supernatural elements way, though we know what we are doing wrong, though we know what we are doing right and other things, but yet we start feeling guilty about the wrong things which is done knowingly or unknowingly. And we as human beings, we are very, very, very ambitious in nature. We are ambitious in nature. But there is always a right path to walk along, isn't it? And that right path, his writing speaks about those importance of ambition. When we walk through it, we actually reach to that particular goal. We always believe in those aspects that there should be a goal and we should walk towards the goal. And when we walk, we should be organized, we should be planned, and we should think about these things, how William Shakespeare speaks about this, and he puts it across that it should be in a justful way. And the catastrophe of his writings and how actually the tragic flow of the heroes and the heroines over there, the protagonists over here, you should understand that yes, these are the cautions given by William Shakespeare to us that what is right and what is wrong. And these creates, okay, a fear within us, a mystery, and even a dramatic atmosphere. Time, action plays a very important role in his writing. Let me take up one particular such event here. I think I need somebody's help to move these things. Okay. Is it possible?
Oh.
Ma'am, is it possible? Or shall I get going with this?
Wasnik ma'am, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll just follow it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The next important aspect is that ghosts as the messengers of truth. Here I have taken the example of Hamlet, which is one more very important writing of William Shakespeare, where the ghost of King Hamlet reveals that the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crowns. Okay. So I'll repeat, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crowns. How like meaningful this particular statement is when the ghost of the king speaks about it. The purpose why actually William Shakespeare uses this particular line is the serpent. You know how venomous the serpent is, and it sings. Whom does it sting? Thy father's life, and then he wears the crown. And here, this particular aspect represents and exposes the murder and motivates Hamlet's revenge and drives the plot. Why are these things important? We see that the ghost is nothing but the inner self of an individual, the inner aspect of an individual, where we know those ghostly aspects which reflect to the society. Definitely, it is a venomous one. Let me just speak something more about the three witches in Macbeth. You know, Macbeth, as I was telling, we all are ambitious. The ambition of Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, where is being represented in this particular play, Macbeth. Every dialogue in this Macbeth speaks about how difficult it is to have the conflict, psychological conflict, how we actually take about, how actually we run about in those conflict perplexed mood. And there are certain things which actually divert our attention. And for that, the three witches are real examples where the opening of this drama, it opens up with this, the act one and scene one opens up with this, the three witches who are called the Weird Sisters. They foretell Macbeth's rise and fall. And the whole drama, in all, we have to understand one thing. When Shakespeare puts it across, the opening scene is so important. It is so important and significant that they tell what would be the rise and fall, the dramatic aspect, the time, the place, the action is being shown in his opening scene. And that's the Macbeth opening scene where the Weird Sisters, right, they actually foretell Macbeth's prophecy, and they say that the lines which I actually admire is this: all hail Macbeth, that shall be the king hereafter. All hail Macbeth, that shall be the king hereafter. Look at, why not? It is not only Macbeth, even we also, we are so much inquisitive to know more about the prophecy like this. If somebody comes and tells, you will rule, okay, your country, you will rule, you will become the leader, you will have all the fortunes of the world, you will be the richest person in the world. Why not we think about these things? What I mean to say is that it is an human tendency. When there is that prophecy which is told, when there is that future prophecy which speaks about it, definitely our concentration will be on it, and they would definitely feel that we start feeling ourselves that how my fortune will change immediately, and we start focusing on it. And to focus on it, remember, our action also matters. The place matters and the time matters. And it is not just William Shakespeare who speaks about it. It is even in our day-to-day life. It is our life, the action, the place, and the time plays a very significant role even in our life also. And in that case, we see that all hail Macbeth, that shall be the king year after, and this is that supernatural presence which symbolizes the temptation, the evil, and the uncontrolled ambition of Macbeth, and he starts working on these things. We have to understand that the actions which has been given over here, it is not just the action, it symbolizes that temptation was started where he writes a letter to Lady Macbeth, and there starts Lady Macbeth. You have to understand the women characters which are introduced by William Shakespeare, where you attended yesterday, the feminist role which is played, which has been used by William Shakespeare. It is really depicted over here, where Lady Macbeth says that the way she opens up herself reading a letter, that charm what we see on her face when she's moving around in a chamber, and she says that okay, she would be the queen and of Scotland, and how then it started, the ambition started, seeded, sprouted in her mind, and she immediately conveys this to Macbeth, and this is how all hail Macbeth, that shall be the king heir afterwards. It actually became the temptation and uncontrolled ambition of Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. And there is one important line where we say that all fair is foul and foul is fair. How important it is, we have to understand, okay? The meaning, why did Shakespeare use this line? It is that torchlighting line which he uses in the opening scene, where the conversation of these three sisters ends with this, where fair is foul and foul is fair, and it means that the appearances are deceptive. The appearances, kindly note, the appearances are deceptive, and something that looks good may be evil, and something that seems evil may be good. It sets a tone of confusion and moral darkness in Macbeth. Fairness, okay, where we speak about all that is good, okay, all that is good, and all that is bad, it is bad. But how do we identify this is what he speaks in this, the three witches speak in Lady Macbeth. This is actually the supernatural power, the power which actually diverts our attention, which makes us to think on one particular line, which makes us to go to any extent to know about it itself, is a supernatural power which William Shakespeare uses in all his plays. The next important aspect which I actually want to speak is about the apparitions and the prophecies. There is a scene, apparition scene. Okay, in this apparition scene, you see those 8 little apparition which move holding a board in their hand, right? And Macbeth sees 3 apparitions warning him. Okay, and one such warning was, beware Macduff. Beware of Macduff was the prophecy he should have understood, but he thinks about it, and that is why he sends his knights to kill Macduff and Lady Macduff and the child. The prophecy here misleads Macbeth, creating tragic end. How actually Macbeth works on it and his mind works on it is very important, which William Shakespeare speaks and writes in his writing. The tragedy of Macbeth is not the tragedy of Macbeth alone. It is a tragedy of all individuals like us who actually run. It is a mad race behind the ambition. We run behind, okay? We don't know where are we running, where are we heading. We just run blindly. Why? Because we believe in the prophecy which has been told by, okay, and that which actually might have impressed, which has made a mind, okay, that these are the important things where if I walk on this particular line, probably I will get what the prophecy has told. But most of the time, if we are not on the right path, we should understand it might mislead. And same thing happens in Macbeth also. It creates its tragic end. How does this magic and the supernatural power works in? I'm giving enough examples over here. Okay, and you have to understand, when we speak about Macbeth, right, we know the end of it. I hope I am like assuming that the students know the story of the end of Macbeth, and that is why I have just brought the thematic aspects on it. And if not, please do take your time. The certificate course is making you to know it is not easy to learn about William Shakespeare in 6 days certificate courses, but the aspects what has been focused, if you are aware about how to read William Shakespeare, that will definitely make you to understand who is William Shakespeare and what is that the life he reflects to us through his writing. And that itself is magic. That itself is magic. When we speak about the magic, we should understand life is a magic. That is what William Shakespeare portrays in all his 37 like plays. He puts it across that life is a magic. It depends on how actually we take it. Okay, and the supernatural elements in the Midsummer Night's Dream is also appreciative one, where the fairies like Oberon, Titania, Puck use magic to create confusion. Okay, he uses Puck spell, what he uses, like in Lady Macbeth, in Macbeth, the three witches use that all fair and foul. Okay, there is even here also we could see the spell which is repeated again and again. Puck spell that, Lord, what's fool these morals be? Lord, what fools these morals be? It is the magic which has been used for comedy, but remember, the misunderstanding over here and the romantic entanglements play a very important role in the Midsummer Night's Dream. It is a comedy, but in this comedy we could see the power of supernatural, okay, has been used, element has been used to speak the truth in a very comic way. And that is what even here also we see William Shakespeare speaks about, okay, life in a comic way, the deeds which are done in a comic way, and how actually life could be taken. And sometimes it also can mislead and misunderstand the situation and how things will entangle. That is what we see in this particular drama, that is the Midsummer Night's Dream. And let me move on to one more important one. Why is, see, when we speak about William Shakespeare, we should understand the titles given by William Shakespeare is nothing but which actually makes us to think, okay? It is skeptical, but yet it makes us to think that what might be the inner, okay, extract or how to explore life. And there is a play, The Tempest. It is just a tempest. I love the cover page of The Tempest where you see a huge ship, okay, amidst the great waves. The tempest is not just the tempest of what William Shakespeare wants to speak, but it is a tempest within the heart of an individual, within the mind of every individual. There are those who are traveling, okay, the royal family members who were traveling in the tempest. It was planned by Prospero, who is the protagonist of the tempest. A magical power, he has a magical stick, the magical books. He lives, he was actually, okay, cheated by his own brother, who actually was sent amidst the island with his small infant daughter, Miranda. Prosperous, when uses this magic through his books, and it sees, he raises that tempest, and the tempest is within him. The tempest is within him. And that tempest, we see that how he conjures, okay, we see it is not just the revenge we could see over here, how this revenge, okay, transforms into the justice, and the end of the tempest, the play plays a very important role here. Prospero's uses the use of magic and the magical book. It is, he uses, okay, and he applies over there to protect his daughter. And there is one more character, cannibal, right? And this cannibal is the human values or human nature which we see in William Shakespeare, half human and half aquatic animal. What makes William Shakespeare introduce these characters in all his dramas, which are so unique? They're so unique that they actually present the inner conflicts of an individual. And even here, there is a magical spirit. Okay, it is an airy spirit, Ariel, who creates storm and illusions, who sees to that he pulls all these members who are there inside the ship, and they fall into the island, and who has to reach the place that is already decided and destined by Prospero. We see a young, smart Ferdinand who was separately taken into the island. And what is all these things? It is nothing but the spirits which have been used by William Shakespeare. My dear listeners, there might raise a question within you. Why did William Shakespeare use this supernatural power in during those days? Right? So the answer is yes. The people who were living during that particular time, they knew, they were into these witchcrafts, they were into this magical spell, they were into this what you call it as the spirit, which actually they believed in it. They believed in these spirits. They actually spoke about these things, and the time which actually people believed that was the forces of this supernatural power. Okay, when the goats and the witches, they were imaginary stories to them. It was they were a part of their daily understandings of the world during that time in England, and that is why he used these words and these magical spells in his writing too. You know, we should understand a writer passes three important stages. The initial stages when we speak that it is just to get into the literary world and to know what is happening. The second part of it is that understanding the literary world, understanding the reader's mindset, and to get into those things. And the last part of the writers would be that the maturity level, or what we call it as the fag end of his life, where William Shakespeare also felt that, and this is the last drama which was written by him, The Tempest. Whatever we see in all his dramas, okay, we could see there is a conclusion in this, the epilogue which actually tells in this, he says that he literally wanted a breakthrough in his life, and that is why he throws the magical book and the magical stick into the water. The epilogue, the dialogues, what he uses there, it is, he actually confesses himself before the readers, before the audience, before the characters over there, that there is a transformation in his life. So the three stages, William Shakespeare or any writer we could see, and when he wrote, when he used the spirits, it was the inner spirit and the outer spirit which he used in supernatural power, the supernatural power in The Tempest which he used. And The Tempest, what he had within him, okay, and he conjured the tempest, where it symbolizes transformation and justice, which is very, very important in everybody's life. We should have that transformation. We cannot live the way we are living now. There are many people who come in our life who actually change our attitude, and those attitude, when we take it, never deter yourself when somebody comes and hurt you, is what he teaches us in this particular drama. In this play, he teaches us. So where Shakespeare introduces, it could be the witches which he introduces in Macbeth, or the ghost he introduces in Hamlet, or the magical fairies which he uses in the Midsummer Night's Dream, or the Ariel, the magical through which he uses, the spirits which he uses in The Tempest, all bring to that one particular point where it symbolizes the transformation and the justice within us. These supernatural characters influence the decisions of the hero actually. Okay, so let me repeat it. The characters, the supernatural characters influenced the decisions of the heroes, and that shaped the direction of the plot and created an atmosphere filled with suspense, mystery, and excitement. I told you that opening scenes of all the plays which William Shakespeare has written will tell us the rise and fall of the protagonist of the drama. Yes, it does. But you can't guess how actually there is a twist and turn at the climax, at the end of it. And that itself, which makes William Shakespeare the great, writer even till date. Many times, most of the webinars and seminars where I have attended, and I myself as a question, and most of the students when I'm teaching, they say, ma'am, it is long back, 400 years ago, like long back this has been written. But why is it even today? Okay, it has got as important because it is so relevant to life. It is very inner qualities, characters, behaviors of an individual, which we all possess within us, and that we exhibit only when it is needed. The extreme love, what we see in King Lear towards his daughters, we could see that over possessiveness of King Lear in his daughters. What is it actually? It is the same, which the qualities of a father we could see here. The love, we should admire the point which William Shakespeare speaks about. The relationship between, like the marital relationship between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. It could be Macduff and Lady Macduff. It could be Portia and Bassanio in The Merchant of Venice. It could be the relationship between the Romeo and Juliet. The relationship between what we see in Julius Caesar and Calpurnia. He is one who admires, he raises the relationship very high when it comes to the marital relationship between an husband and wife. The spouse who carry, the couple who carry that great understanding within them is also one of the power which he uses in all his writing. So in this way, we see the supernatural becomes a window into the hearts and the minds of the characters. That is why in Macbeth, the three weird sisters, witches, they divert the attention of Macbeth and they tempt him to take an action against, and he murders King Duncan, the king of Scotland. He murders him, and we could see the guilt how he actually expresses in Macbeth. And the important question is that, like as I told you, why is it that even today we read about William Shakespeare? Because we still struggle with the ambitions what we have. We still face that moral choices. We still experience jealousy. We still experience that love. We experience the guilt and the fear within us. That is why William Shakespeare, though he is not amidst us today, but through his writing, he still remains in our heart and mind with all these characters which he has created. And Shakespeare understood that human nature so deeply that his plays still feel fresh and relevant. His supernatural element help us to understand the conflict between the fate and the free will. I'll repeat the important aspect of his supernatural. Why are we studying about the supernatural elements in William Shakespeare's play? Because of the conflict. It helps us to understand the conflict between the fate and the free will, the good and the evil, and the appearance of the what we call the appearance and the ability of an individual, which we see over here. The example when we speak about it, it is all about the feasibility of it, we speak about William Shakespeare. And as I told you, it reveals the hidden truth. It explores the deeper themes of all these qualities, which just now I'm repeating these words. Why? Because you should understand the main thematic aspects symbolizes William Shakespeare's writing is the love, the guilt, the ambition, the fate, the destiny, and the decision which an individual takes. My dear students, the decision what you take, that is one of the important, okay, development, personality development. The decision we take decides our fate. The decision we take decides what is our destiny. Never rely upon these things, what happens over there, but be bold enough to go ahead in a positive way, not in a negative way. If you walk in a negative path, that actually makes you to fall. The way all the most of the tragic heroes in William Shakespeare's, we could see that raise in their qualities, in the characters, and in the same way, the utter fall at the end of the drama, which makes us to understand that yes, we should be cautious enough to understand, okay, what are those like the inner thoughts, whether we should rely upon our inner thoughts, should we think and harp upon the conflict which is going on and the decision making. We are always perplexed with these things, so that we have to understand. And like the guilt of, and the it could be the guilt of Hamlet, it could be the what do you call it as the symbolizing conflict within an individual, the strong belief which actually reflects the individual. It is nothing but the ghosts and the witches during the Elizabethan era has been very clearly expressed and projected in William Shakespeare's writing through the supernatural elements. So we should understand that how actually the action takes place. Remember one thing, the action takes place in the mind of an individual, and that is what we see in Tempest. Okay, let me move on to one more important writing, another tragedy of William Shakespeare. It is Julius Caesar. The omens and the portents in Julius Caesar plays a very, very important role. My dear listeners, understand that William Shakespeare, why did he give the title of his play Julius Caesar when Julius Caesar was murdered in the very first act? See, his name lives till the end, where his friend takes up, whether it is the friendship, the emotional background, or whether it is the nation, which is the Roman country, which actually he focuses on it. That we could see in the words of Mark Antony. We see Julius Caesar lives till the end. And there are many questions which has been raised, like even though Julius Caesar was murdered on mid of March, why is it he's still the title of his drama is Julius Caesar? The reason is he lives in the words of all the characters over there. His character is such a great character, you know, a man who is of upright qualities, who has done so much for the Roman people, but he was the conspirators who vexed against Julius Caesar, who didn't want him to be there. Okay, like to continue with this, the negative characters which have been portrayed over here are also those supernatural powers which we can speak in this particular writing. The omens, they are the omens are the positive and the negative omens which we could see, and knowingly or unknowingly we too actually like follow these things. The spirit which has been the omens which have been projected over here, and the portents when in Julius Caesar play a very important role. So let me just speak about it. The bad omen predicted Caesar's assassination. The dream which terrifies Calpurnia is also nothing but the omens, you know. Like she knew earlier, she cautions her husband. Okay, she tells Julius Caesar, don't go. Okay, I dreamt about, right, and it is not an illusion, it was so real that there were the people, the Roman people, who were washing their hands in the pool of blood. She actually, that dream was really terrifying for her. Bad omens predict Caesar's assassination, and when beggars die, there are no comet seen. Okay, there are no comet seen. How beautiful the lines. You should understand, William Shakespeare is one who has contributed more than 2000 words to the history of English literature. To know about, like, these are the lines which he brings. The word wild love, it could be, or look at this sentence, the poisonous serpent, the eggs of poisonous serpent he uses in his plays. When beggars die, there are no comments seen. How beautiful the words are. Yes, beggars, the kings, when we speak, the death is same for beggars and kings. But he says in Julius Caesar, when beggars die, there are no comets seen. And he also uses those strong dialogues, where he says, cowards die thousands times before their death. Where Mark Antony uses these words, he says that cowards die thousands times before their death. Okay, and why does he use all these things? To make us up, to boost us up, to say that yes, don't be cowards. Okay, you die every time when you are covered and when you run away from the challenges of life. And he says, and we should understand how omens and portents are also used as one of the important supernatural powers to direct and to lead the main characters in the play. Calpurnia sees terrifying dreams of Caesar's death. And why does William Shakespeare highlights this? It is because it is for the political stability, instability, and the fate which was seen by the Roman Catholics over here, the Roman people over here. The political instability. It is not that the king only should be there to rule the country, There are his followers, people who are committed, who have got that national identity, who feel that they have got that patriotism within them. And those people will never work for, such things. Brutus, who loves his nation, and he becomes a member of those conspirators group only because when the villain of this, Julius Caesar, he speaks that, Julius Caesar is not actually the right a leader to lead to rule Rome, but instead he is the one who has got all these negative, they list. Kindly read this Julius Caesar, those who are interested to know more about William Shakespeare and his writing, kindly do read Julius Caesar writing, how actually Julius Caesar, though the protagonist is not there, he is kept alive till the end of the drama. So this you have to understand. Let me move on to another important aspects over here, the dreams, the supernatural dreams. Dreaming is one which is consciously or unconsciously we do feel. But here, purposefully, William Shakespeare in his first act wants to tell us that, caution us that the whole drama depends on the dream of California here. The way Macbeth with the meetings of three witches, we see in Julius Caesar supernatural power. The dream of California, which actually Caesar has been stabbed 16 times. He has been stabbed. It is nothing but the word you have to understand, Caesar. We it is, I told you, William Shakespeare coined so many words, and this is also one of that word, Caesar. When the word, it is just to cut. It is to cut. And how actually this has been cut? It is to the negative aspects should be brought out of an inner world, is what the philosophical ideas have been brought in Julius Caesar drama. And we see that the status, Caesar's status bleeding, and it dreams act as a warning for supernatural forces. Where we see It is not the ghost which actually come over here. The dream which comes here plays a very important role. We have to understand the curses in William Shakespeare, okay, which also plays. It is the conflict which we see within, okay, the conflict which within William Shakespeare, the fortune and misfortune, the moral and immoral, okay, eternal and the good and the bad, all these evil things which we see, all this is being portrayed, okay, written by William Shakespeare. We should understand that the concept of this, the struggle within, okay, moral and immoral things, and the fortune and the misfortune, the experience which actually they undergo, all these are the part of William Shakespeare, who uses it as, okay, the curse which we could see in King Lear. It is very, very important. King Lear being a father, he has three daughters, and the love for three daughters is not the same. And he pampers his youngest daughter a lot. He loves her a lot, and that possessiveness has been reflected over here. But understand, curses signal misfortune or moral consequences is been written down in King Lear. Example, the curses between Lear and his daughters. They foreshadow tragedy and the emotional destruction. This drama is this play is a real emotion, okay, where you could see how actually the love, affection, then caring, supportive, cooperativeness, all these things, how it actually shadows the tragedy in William Shakespeare, we could see in this. Therefore, shadow, the tragedy, emotional destruction. Given time to speak on each play, I think a day is not enough, you know. It is such depth William Shakespeare focuses in his writing. So we have to understand how actually the supernatural power creates that tension, okay, that it creates that curiosity, it creates that uncertainty, it creates that conflict for the character that makes the tragedy more, okay, dramatic and intense. We should understand. Remember, all the supernatural powers, they create the tragedies more dramatic and more intense when we get to know about it. Okay, so we should understand that the plays what he has written, the 37 plays Shakespeare has written, all these emotional aspects, they shadow the tragedy we could see. Okay, naming, I have taken up only the supernatural power which has been used over here. And otherwise, when you read in detail about William Shakespeare's writing, we could see that we understand the human nature so deeply. We understand the nature of humans so deeply that the characters are kept in our mind. They never die, though they die at the end of the drama, but they never die in our mind, in our thoughts. Why? Because the characters are so memorable. They are created with powerful dialogues, and it expands that English language with new words and expressions still used today. As I told, to the English literature, William Shakespeare has contributed more than 2,000 words. More than 2,000 words he has contributed to English literature, and it is really very, very wild to understand. And that is why William Shakespeare lives amidst us even today. Okay, the tragedies, what we speak about it, it is like Macbeth. It could be the comedy which I actually presented before you, As You Like It. It could be, and the historical writing, that is Henry V, and the romance that we could see in The Tempest. Every drama has its own thematic aspects. It has that symbol within it, the symbolizing the transformation within it is seen. Okay, and people during Shakespeare time, they believed strongly in all these aspects. Okay, and that is why we could see curses also play a very important role. and they are as real as it is, they're not imaginary. And the people during that particular time who believed in the ghosts, the witchcraft, the curses, and the magical spell, that is why he wanted to prove, bring back to the writers, to the people, the entertainment, through entertainment and through the dramatization. He wanted to bring it on the stage to the people, which actually touched the art of the audience. And that is why William Shakespeare, even today, he lives. Okay, he actually was not a person who was educated in any of the grammar schools, but we could see that his genius is observed, okay, in such a way. The experiences and the natural talent what William Shakespeare has, he has forecasted in all his writing, and that is expressed in King Lear's, okay, where the emotional destruction, okay, ruins the love and affection, the extreme love and possessiveness of King Lear towards his daughter. This is what we actually see. And we could see that the storm, it could be, or the airy spirits, it could be, the tempest, it could be, all these also play as a character. They're not just the symbols which has been used, the storm and tempest, it is not just a symbol which has been used. The storm over there, it is a real life character which plays a very important role, and it reflects. Okay, and here the next important presentation, my presentation, is on the storms as supernatural forces which William Shakespeare uses. The storms reflect inner chaos or the divine punishment. Remember, the conflict we actually face, okay, that was faced not now, even during the Elizabethan audience also, that interested them. Okay, the theme of supernatural powers interested them, and that is why there was a great demand for William Shakespeare dramas. And here they are nothing but the inner chaos or the divine punishment, which we could see is what is been reflected over here. The moral aspects, or it could be, okay, King Lear's, where symbolic supernatural power over human life, okay, should actually be a part where we see that storms also play a very important role as a character. Though it is within us, it is the characters which he has created in his play, okay, in King Lear. It is nothing but the inner chaos, okay, inner chaos or divine punishment. We are conscious about the power of God. We are conscious about the power of good and evil, and that he expresses in the form of storms over here. The storm mirrors the madness. In my initial talks, I actually told about that it is the mirror. It is nothing but the society which we are mirroring, the characters which we mirror to the society, the way the society is, the way we actually live. That storm mirrors madness is been used in King Lear, the play written by William Shakespeare. The symbolic supernatural power over human life. What to say on this? There is always, okay, over a human life, there is the symbolic supernatural power. As the readers, you can just, as an audience, you can just think how many times we have always been in a perplexed mood. Whether should I do it, not to do it? Shall I do it or not to do it? Okay, what is right and what is wrong? But remember, the action depends on the decision which we take. The action depends on the decision what we take. And that decision you have to understand over here. Let me just focus on supernatural and moral themes which William Shakespeare, okay, speaks about it, right? Why actually supernatural, the morals of this supernatural power is been used. We have to understand the supernatural and moral themes are playing very, very important role. Let me just go back to this slide just to speak a bit about it. Okay, so yeah, this is about the supernatural and the moral themes which we actually concentrate on it. Okay, I've already told you what are those most important things we reveal over here. It is the moral themes, the moral conflict which which goes within his life is very important. Supernatural reveals the guilt in Macbeth's dagger and the ghost of Banquo. Okay, in Macbeth, let me just, how actually, what is this we know about it? It is a dagger scene in Macbeth where he comes out after killing King Duncan. He rushes out and everywhere he sees the dagger, okay, the dripping dagger, the drops of blood dripping from the dagger. He says it is not that he has killed a sleeping Duncan there, he has killed his own self. And Lady Macbeth is one who instigated Macbeth to kill King Duncan. And even there we see her guilt in sleepwalking scene. Amazing writing it is. Where she holds a candle, she walks in a dream. She walks, sleepwalking scene we call it. And in that scene, sleepwalking scene, we see it is a conflict between her conscience, her guilt, and the moral ethics what she actually carries in her life. So the supernatural reveals the guilt in Macbeth's dagger and ghost of Banquo, which has been revealed. The next one is the revenge, where Hamlet, we could see, he actually, it is also one of the important nature, about an individual, where we see the revenge attitude of Hamlet. Remember, even here also, the title of the play is Hamlet. The title of the play is Hamlet. Okay, and how actually he gives most of the title of King Lear is King Lear because he is the one who actually what you call affects with those emotional backups. So we have to understand that revenge also plays an important role. How does he take? Okay, revenge in Hamlet is very important. How does he takes revenge in Hamlet plays a very important role. So let us just check it out. How does he take the revenge? He takes revenge in Hamlet. We've seen that the ghost reveals the truth in Hamlet. Hamlet's father's ghost appears and tells Hamlet that King Claudius, okay, that is who is his uncle. King Claudius is his uncle. So Hamlet's father's ghost, he appears in front of Hamlet and tells that King Claudius murdered him by pouring poison into in his ear, right? And how will a son take it in a easy way? The ghost orders Hamlet, revenge is foul and most unnatural murder. He says the ghost orders Hamlet how actually a son follows the orders of the father is reflected in this particular play. He says the ghost orders Hamlet, revenge is foul, revenge go, and revenge is uncle's foul what he has done, and the most unnatural murder he has done. It was not a natural murder, okay, unnatural murder, pouring poison into the ears, in his ears. They have killed. Go take revenge. Hamlet doubts and delays initially. He thought it is after all ghost, but Hamlet is intelligent and he is emotional too. He wants proof before killing Claudius, and he pretends to be mad, that is insane, to confuse everyone. He is under confusion. So what does Hamlet do? Taking revenge, okay? He just pretends as if he is insane, just to know like whether his uncle has seriously killed his father. He has murdered his father. And for that, there is a play within the play in Hamlet. You should understand. It is not easy to understand Shakespeare, you know. So sometimes there is, okay, we see that there are plays within play, there are stories within stories, there are conflicts within the conflicts, okay, and that coerce will never coerce us to understand Shakespeare. We should understand the mindset of Shakespeare. And we see that he pretends to be mad and to confuse everyone. And in this Hamlet, we see there is a play within the play. Hamlet arranges a drama called the Mouse Trap. Okay, he arranges a drama which is called the Mouse Trap, which reenacts his father's murder. And he know the truth. His father has already told him the truth that poison was poured in his ear and his father has been murdered. But he wanted the proof. He behaves as if he's insane and he enacts, he recreates the scene in the drama. When Claudius reacts nervously, Hamlet confirms that Claudius is guilty about it in this drama, and then he actually takes revenge. Hamlet misses his first chance. Okay, when Hamlet finds Claudius praying alone and thinks of killing him, he actually he stops himself, thinking that killing him during his prayer will send Claudius to heaven. Right? See here the conflicts, my dear readers, my dear listeners. You have to understand, okay, participants, that there is always the moral, okay, which the ethics what we have within us, the conflict between the bad and the evil. Even here also revenge against his father's murder, but we see he sees he was all alone. Claudius was all alone, but he thinks, is it right to kill him when he is during his prayer? And he thinks, no, if I kill him here, he will directly go to heaven. So what he does, he finally, in the final act of the revenge, is that during the duel with Letrus and Claudius' plan to kill Hamlet goes wrong. Hamlet is wounded with the poisoned sword, but later uses the same sword to stab the knight who comes over there. And Letrus tells Hamlet that Claudius is responsible for everything. The poisonous sword which was used, okay, to stab Hamlet, he uses it on Latus. And when he actually was dying, he actually reveals the secret, telling that yes, it is true. Claudius is responsible for all this tragedy which has taken place in this drama. Then Hamlet finally kills Claudius with the poisoned sword, forcing him to drink the poisoned wine. Why? Because his father was also killed, okay, murdered with the poison. So he uses poison as a medium and to kill his enemy, the murderer of his father. And we see Hamlet dies after taking revenge. After killing Claudius, Hamlet also dies because of the poison sword which had stabbed him. So we have to understand the moral conflict which actually goes on within him. That is about revenge. And the justice, I told you, I've already put it across how Prospero, okay, wanted to take revenge against his brother. And because for 13 long years he was there in his island with a small little daughter. He wanted to take revenge, but at the end he realizes life is all to live. Okay, he makes all those people who had vexed against this, and he makes them to realize that what is the mistakes they have done. And there is a wedding which has been organized, okay, a massive, a very pompy way, where celestial bodies are setting over there in the forest, and he gets Ferdinand and Miranda, okay, where love succeeds over here. For the innocent Miranda's love succeeds, and he gets married to Ferdinand, and he actually excuses, pardons all the members who have actually done wrong to him and his family. And the tempest what was there within him cools down when he starts forgiving and forgetting the mistake which is done by these people. But he makes sure Shakespeare through Prospero, okay, the name itself tells that is prospering, and with this he actually pardons all those who have done injustice, and justice finally succeeds in the tempest. And destiny, I've already told much about even Julius Caesar also. And in Julius Caesar, we see though Julius Caesar is not there, a man of upright qualities was killed by the wrong people because of their personal motives. And what is the destiny? All of them were Mark Antony's speech. Okay, the speech which has been given, there are many scenes which you have to remember in Julius Caesar, the assassination scene, the like market scene, Mark Antony's speech, amazing speech. It is not only those people, the mob which was there in the market who were against the words of these people who were vexed against Julius Caesar. It is even we also, while reading, we feel that yes, we should take the fire of Julius Caesar's body, which is being which is being set fire over there. They run chasing those people who have created wrong, who have killed Julius Caesar. It is a destiny, but destiny is what, where, how do we take it? So Mark Antony changes the destiny of the people, the wrong people who are there. And that is also again the supernatural element and the moral themes which he brings writing. Okay, so as I told you, why did Shakespeare use the supernatural power? Most of you all, as you know, that there would be that question which is pounding and pouncing in your mind, popping out in your mind, that hey, why should we read supernatural power? Does it really has an impact? Yes, my dear ones, it has an impact. The supernatural power need not be those power which actually we see outside. It could be that which we see within us also. The natural, we are human beings, we should be natural. We should accept those emotional diversities what we have within us, but we go beyond it. We go beyond it. And that itself, he says that it is supernatural power. So the Elizabethan audience, strongly believed in witchcraft, ghost and magic, and it adds, the emotional impact, the suspense, how actually these emotional impact or these supernatural power come to an end, and how there is a rise and fall in the role of an character, the protagonist. We could see that itself is a suspense in most of his writings of William Shakespeare. And the last is that the philosophical depth we could see in supernatural power. People were aware of these supernatural aspects, but it has got that tinge of philosophy, to know about the life. Life is depth, my dear one. To understand life, it needs, that is why we say there is life itself is a teacher. Life, all those experiences what we undergo in our life is a teacher. And those philosophical depth, if we understand, life becomes so cool, calm and beautiful. But come on, let us ask questions to ourselves. Do we actually have those philosophical quest within us? Why is that the whole world is struggling so hard today? Why are there? Why is there that there is enmity? The one is actually feeling jealous about the other. Why is that there is ego? The self motive. We could see all over the selfishness within. Why is it? Why? That is not life, The philosophical depth is that love your life. Allow the people to live. Excuse, forgive and forget. The theme what like a Prospero tells in Tempest. Forgive and forget. Very beautiful, when we forgive and forget. So that psychological exploration of characters is very much needed. We see it is the conflict in psychology, in our mind, that we have to come out of it. So these are the important aspects. Why did Shakespeare use those supernatural power in most of his writing? It is to create that emotional impact. When King Lear died, with that over possessiveness, okay, with that jealousy in his nature. So that is an answer to us that we should not have that over possessiveness within us. We should not have that jealousy within us, okay, because it kills us. Ambition, being ambitious is good, but being over ambitious is not good. So that is what he tells in his writing. Okay, we have to understand. Let me just come to the last bit of this. What is the supernatural element? It is giving me those goosebumps when I am telling, about supernatural powers of William Shakespeare. Why? Because these elements were needed by William Shakespeare as a good storyteller. He took the existence of life, and then he actually, whatever was seen around him, as a storyteller, William Shakespeare proved himself to be the best storyteller by creating that impact in the emotional aspects of an individual. The conflict, the chaos, the love. Okay, when in Romeo and Juliet we see extreme love, okay, dying for each other. We might speak. Love is such a great emotion, and with that great emotion, we can say that I die for you, but literally it is not possible. Nobody loves for the sake of love, unless those circumstances make them to, okay, decide that they can't live without each other. But remember, we should not be dependent on others, because there are people around us. Okay, if you live only for one single person and die for him, it is not called life. You should live for the society. You should live for the loved ones who are there. Just imagine what would happen. My young students over there, love is such a important concept, which William Shakespeare, he is the one who actually brought that real essence of love. He is the one who actually tells that love is to live, okay, live, and it is the soulmate. He actually speaks about that soulmate, okay, and we have to know about it. He used all this combination. Why? Because to create that story, the real story in the mind of an individual. They influence the characters, they shape the plot, and they express the deeper themes about individual. So from ghosts to witches, from the supernatural, continues to fascinate the readers and the students today. And that is why William Shakespeare lives till date. He lives till date, I would like to quote some of the important quotations. There are many, many, many. Okay, one important few I just quoted. Okay, one is that all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. This is a dialogue written by William Shakespeare in As You Like It. Okay, I want my students to actually by heart this, okay, memorize this, because it is the true nation which tells the whole world is a stage, and all men and women, we are merely the players. Okay, we are the life is controlled by God. The ethics of life, the morals of life, the eternal values, okay, what we have to carry. He says the whole world is a stage. Okay, I would like to ask this students who are listening in this particular lecture, please do keep this in mind, that all that the world's stage, okay, and all the men and women are merely players. You have to know, if you are a student of this certificate course, you should know some of the quotations which has been given by William Shakespeare, and this is one among it. And there is one more. To be or not to be? That is the question. Okay, this is a statement dialogue in Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question. What does he say in this? Okay, whether you be or you not to be. That is the question, How are you? Analyze yourself. The meaning of this, the dialogue, which actually is very, very deep. It is psychologically and philosophically very deep, when you say to be or not to be, that is the question we should understand, he says, okay? Life's a best walking shadow, a tale told by an idiot. This is a dialogue which is there in Macbeth. Life's but a walking shadow, a tale told by an idiot. full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I'll repeat, life is but a walking shadow. It is a walking shadow, right? Life is nothing but a walking shadow. It is a tale. It is a story told by an idiot, he says. Why? There are people around us like that, full of sound and fury. They make, okay, they make that great sound and the fury, which signifies nothing. So he wants to tell that life is to live. Life is to live. We are playing, we are the characters in it. Let us live and please others. Let us live for ourselves and let us live even others also. That is what it tells, okay? We know what we are, but know not what we may be. Hamlet tells this. We know what we are. We all know what we are, but know not what we may be. We don't know the future, what actually we might be in future. Okay, so this is what the conclusion of this, and I trust these words. Being in literature students, we should understand the words are lovely, dark, and deep. I always believe in that. There is no end to learn about William Shakespeare or his writing or about his the values, the ethics, and all those the qualities, the behavior, what he brings over there in his drama are not there. They are not the end. They're just the beginning. And I would like to bring Road Not Taken, okay, Robert Frost's lines here. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Okay, and this you have to understand that it is true. All those, why actually do we read William Shakespeare? Because that he speaks about the life and the qualities about it. Life laughs at you when you are unhappy. Life smiles at you when you are happy. Life salutes you when you make others happy. Please do accept that life is to be happy and keep others happy. And with this, I'll come to my last slide of it, that it was really wonderful, okay, speaking about this particular topic, supernatural power in William Shakespeare's play, and wish you all the best. And thank you. Be happy. Allow the others to live and keep, okay, live in a very meaningful way. Live in a very meaningful way is what. Now it is time for you all to ask. Okay, now the session is open. The session is open to discuss on what have you understood on today's topic, and how actually was I reachable? Was I reachable enough to you all? And how important that life speaks about it, and how supernatural power is not just a natural power. It is actually the superpower which we have, which we see within us, and it is we see around us. Okay, by this my talk, I put an end to my presentation, and the session is open for discussion now. If you'll have any question and answers to ask, please do ask.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your such an insightful and enriching session. Your exploration of the supernatural in Shakespearean drama has indeed broadened our understanding and added a great value, academic value to this course. Dear participants, we will now move to the question answer session. If you have any queries, please write in the chat box or unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself and ask. There are no questions in the chat box so far.
As far as I know, if you have understood the topic, yeah, if you have really understood the topic, I want you all to ask questions actually, because many questions raised, while reading William Shakespeare. It is not easy to understand. Probably professors who are there on this platform, we know how difficult it is to understand and interpret what William Shakespeare actually wants to tell us. What is that he wants to convey it to us? It is not easy, right? And students of your age, it might be what do you call it as, you might be in a dilemma. Like, are there so many things which we have to learn amid this? Yes, there are many things to learn by the readings of Shakespeare's play, and I want you all to kindly raise, at least come forward, right? Life is a challenge. It is a roller coaster ride, and if you don't ask today, you will not get an answer in your life. So you have to ask a question, ask something,
There
okay?
is
At
one
least
question in
what
the
is
chat
that?
box. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
is one question in the chat box. Mr. Arvind Indore, sir, he wants to wishes to ask, shall we believe that Shakespeare was superstitious?
Uh, Yes, my answer would be yes, he was a superstitious, okay? And if without understanding the superstitious belief, I don't think he will be able to, okay, answer to the whole world that how people are running behind this. The audience during that time, okay, in England, were all those people who were behind these witchcrafts and ghosts, spirits, miracles which were happening, right? In my personal views, I feel probably William Shakespeare was yet a believe. Okay, he believed in those supernatural powers or superstitious in his nature, and that is why he might have wrote. Okay, he might have brought. Okay, those things. Whether we feel it or not, we as an individual, being an Indians, okay, we always have those superstitious belief in us, knowingly or unknowingly. We always accept these things. Okay, when we just go out of a house, there is always a mother, a wife, or a daughter comes running to us. Papa ye lijiye, all the best for you. Dahi khaiye, isn't it? Okay, and that is also what is it? Wishing best, and this knowingly or unknowingly, we always, it is the tradition of our Indian mindset that there are certain beliefs, and that was not only during, okay, 16th century. It is even now also we have these things, we do believe even now also. So I feel yes, probably William Shakespeare was a believer of this, and that is why he wanted to teach the society. Remember one thing, a writer is one who reaches out to the hearts and the minds. His ideas should sink to us, to our emotions. Okay, why do we feel bad when the protagonist dies at the end of the drama? Right? It is literally we become I you we start we pity the character of Macbeth at the end. Such a great whaler he is. Okay, a tiger who fought, a tiger who actually fought like that, and at the end we could see he had that guilty consciousness which actually did not allow him to raise eye. That you have to understand. Arvind sir, it was really a wonderful question. I hope I have answered at least, okay, try to make you to understand why he might have used all these supernatural powers in his writing. Yeah, thank you sir, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. There is one more question in the chat box. Apart
Yeah.
from superstitions and usage of supernatural elements in his play, did Shakespeare also have an equal belief in the sciences of his spirit, also depicting them in his plays along with his
Supernatural elements. Yes, I just got the question. Akshat Patak sir, wonderful question you have asked. The conflict is not just the supernatural power, the beliefs of an individual, or it is just for the sake of writing, he might have not written it. Okay. So, yes, of course, there is that what we call it as the conflict or the idea, the knowledge of science, which systematically engages a person, gives that idea. Why do you think that? Why do we think that people believed in supernatural powers? Okay, there might be something, what we call it as, they might have accepted that scientific ideas are also there. With these scientific ideas, okay, with this scientific ideas, there might be that, what you call those period, it was a period of literary awareness, it was a period of knowledge sharing and knowing more and more about it. Yes, of course. So the science and, okay, the science, the conflict of the science, and that influence the writer in this conflict and supernatural power, we could literally see. I would like to give an example of this, that where he speaks about the celestial bodies. Okay, the celestial bodies, where in tempest he calls all those, okay, Juno comes, Jupiter comes, okay, the love god comes, and the beauty, the nature, mother nature comes over there, right? And both when they invited, it is the celestial body also have like the scientific views. So there is an influence in his writing too. Okay, so here we see the influence of his writing, the influence of his writing. We see that. Just a minute, just give me 1 second. I'll just call back to you later. Okay. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, so the celestial beliefs and the superstitions of Shakespeare's time as literally had that conflict. Okay, the science of his period also depicting them in the plays along with his supernatural element, influence of science in his writing. In his writing was accepted. Okay, and he actually believes that without science there should be something good and bad amidst it, isn't it? So he actually in his writing he clearly expresses the ideas logically. What is that logically expresses? It is creating beliefs. Okay, and thinking about the clarity which actually uses over here. It is to observe, to analyze, and to explain. If that is not there, how do you think that the people of England would have accepted? Why was that their great demand for the dramas of William Shakespeare during that time? So he actually brought science, the impact of science, logical thinking, okay, the nature he brought along with like what you call the beliefs of the individual, he brought it over here. It is nothing but the facts and the realism. The facts and the realism where he uses in his like in his writing the stories and the realistic aspects describing that what you call it as the works, how people believe. There are people who believe and the people who actually don't believe. Okay, so obviously science inspires creative writing, and it has inspired even William Shakespeare also to know about enriching writing. He used all this. Okay, the gravity, it could be the what you call it is the beliefs of an individual with the logically thinking he used in his writing. I don't know how far this actually has answered your answer, Akshat sir, but it is true. Yes, the logical thinking and the aspects of his writing, emotionally, ethically, morally, will always have the great reflect on scientific writing and supernatural, superstitious belief of the writer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We will take the third and the last question. Kushi Temburne, she wishes to ask, how did the societal beliefs and superstitions of Shakespeare's time influence his writing and the themes he explored?
Yeah, I'll just read the question. How did the societal beliefs and superstitions of Shakespeare's time influence his writing and the themes he explored? A very beautiful question, Ms. Kushi. And here you should understand, it is nothing about the influence of the behavior. We live in a society which reflects us, and when it reflects us, the society, it has got a strong influence. Every individual, we all of us are influenced by the society and how people think, feel, and we act. These beliefs are passed down from generation to generation, and they shape the culture, tradition, and even everyday decision. So obviously, societal beliefs and superstition of Shakespeare's time influence his writing. The first thing is that about the behavior. People may avoid certain actions because of the fear of bad luck, right? It is true. And for example, not walking under a ladder. You might have heard, like, there is a superstition, a chapter which has been prescribed in University of Mysuru. Okay, superstitious belief: not walking under a ladder, stopping work on an unlucky day. The number 13, which people believe 13 is an odd number and it doesn't bring luck. Okay, all these are what it is. We are the people in society who are accepted, who have accepted it, and who are believing it. That is why I gave जो example मैंने अभी दिया ना, like giving dahi to a person who is going out, wishing him good luck. Okay, so that itself is a belief, right? And shub shub bolo, right? These words we actually use. Why? Because those are beliefs, superstition beliefs. Okay, and superstition sometimes, okay, control the important decisions. We don't actually arrange a marriage on a new moon day or a full moon day. As far as in south, we don't organize, we don't arrange any wedding reception on new moon day. Or why is it? We know scientifically it is told that it hampers on a psychological way, isn't it? So sometimes we should accept that superstitions, okay, sometimes control the important decisions such as marriage dates, travel plans, and even buying a house. Why do we lay a foundation for a new house on a very auspicious day? It is only because of this, okay, societal beliefs and the superstition beliefs of William Shakespeare. Time, it influences not then even the time, place, and the action of an individual. It is, that is what we have explored through all these 4 days of certificate courses. You have explored how William Shakespeare has focused on those important aspects. Okay, and the influence on society. How is that influence on the society? They create shared cultural practices that bring people together, right? Why are these weddings done? It is not I alone can't go and stand with my spouse and get married. We believe in the blessings of all elderly people, loved ones, well wishers to be there amidst us, dance, enjoy, have fun, create that atmosphere where living together, we all should live together. United we stand, divided we fall. So that is also another aspect. So believing in good omen, okay, during festivals or special occasions, we see all this is influencing the society for that matter. Okay, and we also have that sometimes they can lead to the misunderstanding or discriminations also. But remember, right, treating animals, okay, we do treat it like that. A cat passing from left to right or right to left, we always, even the people, even the animals also project them in such a way. Okay, but now let me just tell a very important aspect of this. How does this influence on the literature? How does this influence on the literature? So yeah, writers often use superstitions to create mystery, tension, and cultural identity in stories. Okay, so literature reflects the society of the time, and the superstitious becomes very important themes. Okay, example, Shakespeare used omens, ghosts, witches, and dreams, right? And that really has an influence in literature today. Why are we studying all these things? We are studying all these things only because it is in literature. Otherwise, probably we wouldn't have known, okay, in literature, like Shakespeare, if he wouldn't have brought all these elements, supernatural elements in this, definitely we wouldn't have known about it, how important these things are. Okay, so all this give way for the decision making. It actually gives way for the decision making. People may follow the rules and regulation, might not follow. It is their interpretation, it is their understanding, individual like understanding. If they are comfort, they follow it. If they are discomfort, they don't follow it. But if they feel that they should be the safety to understand these things, I think, okay, science and superstitious belief has a great impact on it. Okay, so these beliefs can affect the choices in health, travel, business, exams, and daily life. Okay, so I hope I have understood. I have just tried to answer the question to Miss Kushi, who has asked this a wonderful question. Okay, it is really like, which actually made me to explore few things, how society, literature, and an individual thoughts play a very important role. Thank you, Kushi, for asking this question.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for satiating the queries of our participant. Thanks a lot. As we come to the end of today's session, I wish to extend heartfelt gratitude to today's esteemed speaker, Honorable Dr. Captain Indrani M.R., for her enlightening, interesting, scholarly, and illuminating presentation. Madam, through your presentation, you highlighted the role of supernatural elements in Shakespeare's plays and their impact on characters, themes, and plot. You explained the meaning and examples of supernatural forces, ghosts, witches, prophecies, fairies, spirits, and omens, and their functions in creating mystery, suspense, and deeper symbolic meaning. You discuss ghosts as truth revealing figures in Hamlet, the witches and misleading as apparitions in Macbeth, magical interventions in A Midsummer Night's Dream and The Tempest, and ominous signs in Julius Caesar that foreshadow political turmoil. We are grateful for the clarity, depth, and brilliance with which you unfolded the theme for us today. I, on behalf of all the collaborative institutions, wish to extend my sincere and heartfelt thanks to you for accepting our invitation, sparing your valuable time for us, and enlightening the participants. Thank you so much, ma'am. I also thank wholeheartedly to Honorable Dr. Tapti Ray,
Thank you, ma'am. It's
President,
my
and
pleasure. It's my
Honorable
pleasure.
Dr. Usha Sakure, Secretary of Shakespeare Society of Central India, for providing this wonderful academic platform. I also wish to offer my deep gratitude to Dr. Pratik Michael, Vice Principal, HISLOP College, Nagpur, for his words of wisdom. Thank you, sir. I also thank the organizers, coordinators, and our active participants for making Day 4 a grand success. I also wish to thank the technical team for their support for the smooth conduct of the session. Thank you. I also wish to thank all the participants for their continuous support and cooperation. Dear participants, I hope you have enjoyed today's wonderful session. We look forward to your enthusiastic participation tomorrow for day 5 of the certificate course. With the consent of the organizers, I declare that today's session is over. Thank you everyone. Stay connected, stay inspired, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you and take care. Thank you, ma'am. You are muted, ma'am. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Okay, it
Yeah.
is my great pleasure to be a part of it. I extend my gratitude to you for being modulating the whole session in such a meticulous way, ma'am. And congratulations to you and even to Dr. Usha, ma'am, and all the organizers, okay, for having this patience listening. And thank you so much for this great opportunity. My best wishes to all the students who actually and the professors who are here for your patience hearing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Means a lot. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You can leave the